This is the new Nova dome jaws. These are actually the smallest jaws that Nova make, and don't replace anything they'd made previously because they're smaller than anything they'd made previously. When they arrived in our club rooms, they were absolutely applauded by some of our members who want to make small turnings. One of them immediately put a small piece of Purple Heart in the jaws and made this little goblet complete with a captive ring. That's the sort of thing you can do with this. It will hold dowel and small square bits of wood absolutely beautiful. So let's just start by putting in a piece of ebony from a piano. There's a long story about when I acquired that. One of our other members thought he had it as well, and it was on a roadside dump of piano, and he thought he didn't have anything to get the wood off the piano, so he raced home to get it. I was the next person by, and I looked at that piano, grabbed a heavy weight out of my car and went tuk 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 tuk, and got all this lovely ebony. Okay, so for making finials, this is absolutely beautiful. Now, previous chucks have had longest jaws, but they've lacked support like this. So you could hold that all right, but there was always a little danger of that face being damaging to the hands. So there we go, that's beautiful. Now for spindle work like this, we want to get as many revs as we can. So let's see where we go here. And so we make it round. So beautiful, so smooth, so nice, and turning a finial like that is just so comfortable when using this chuck. So let's now look at something which is not small and held there, and possibly not really what this is designed for, but if we wanted to turn a little bowl on this, remember we've got no grip inside there. The grip of that previous wood and the bit that was used to make the goblet is simply that this has straight flat sides, so you can put a dowel in it very easily. So for a little bowl, we can use this chuck in expansion mode in a small hole. That's fine, and I am happy to use jaws in expansion mode when we have a big block of wood around them. We need to keep the outside of this wood secure, because remember that hole that I've drilled in there has straight sides. And all we're wanting to do now is to check that that wood is pretty good there, and we'll make it round, and we'll make a little bowl just to show how it works. Check, check, check. Now we don't want quite so many revs this time. There we go, nice and round. This is another piece of Pahutakawa. We'll get our tool rest underneath there and shape the outside of our bowl. Now these jaws may not hold this very well when we take the tailstock away to finish that rounding off, but we'll give it a try. Alright, now to turn that around the other way, my preference would be a chuck like the 1-inch Hornung jaws, which would grip there. But we're going to use these just to show what they can do. So we'll drill a hole in the base here, and explain as we go why I really don't like this method. So let's just slow the lathe again a little. Now, as explained for the drilled hole on that side, this has got straight sides in there, so we've just got to change that, and it does need to fit the jaws of this chuck a slope on there. So we'll take a small skew chisel and we'll make that slope inside there. Come back a little because we've got the slope on there to account for, and we're on center, so we just need to alright, so that should now be able to be held with a level of security which is okay on around the other way. Now two reasons I don't like this for holding a bowl. One is that we may, in doing our inside, go through there. The other is that in here we're going to have expanding pressure putting on that wood. And when this gets thin, it may just split in half. So we've got to put that on there and do our best to hollow that. And we need a bit of pressure to stop it from skidding. So here we go. Let's just use a regular bowl gouge. Now it's come loose. That method of gripping is simply not strong enough compared with a chuck which grips a spigot on there. So if you want to make a little bowl on these dome jaws, be much gentler than I was. This is puriri, a purikawa, one of our softer woods, harder woods rather, and look what's happened here. That's why it came loose, because that chip that split out the side. Okay, so that's not recommended, but that's our dome jaws. I think they're a good addition to the array of jaws that we have available for us. Superb for making those finials and little things.